Welcome to Lynchcomb currency. The 1983 Lincoln cent is one of the most intriguing coins in modern U.S. numismatics, particularly due to certain varieties and mint errors that have made headlines, commanded high prices at auction, and captured the imaginations of collectors around the world. While millions of 1983 pennies were struck and continue to circulate in pockets and piggy banks, a few special examples stand out, potentially being worth thousands, or even, as some internet rumors suggest, up to $90 million. But how true are these stories? And how can an ordinary penny become so valuable? Let's begin with some context. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original design featured the profile of Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat ears on the reverse. In 1959, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This reverse remained in use through 2008, including on the 1983 Lincoln cents. The Lincoln cent is made primarily for circulation, and billions are minted each year, making it one of the most common and familiar coins in the United States. The year 1983 is notable for several reasons. First, it was only the second year that the Lincoln cent was produced using a copper-plated zinc composition, following a major change in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. Prior to mid-1982, Lincoln cents were struck on a planchet composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. In mid-1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet, composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. The change resulted in two different types of 1982 pennies, copper and zinc. By 1983, all cents were officially struck using the new copper-plated zinc planchets. However, things get really interesting when we consider the errors and varieties from this time period. One of the most famous 1983 penny varieties is the 1983 double die reverse. This variety features strong doubling on the lettering on the reverse of the coin, particularly noticeable on the words 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. It is not a subtle doubling, it's quite dramatic and visible even without a magnifying glass. These coins were struck with a die that had been improperly prepared, leading to a doubled image on the reverse. Because they are rare and very desirable to collectors, they can fetch high prices, often in the range of several $100s to several $1,000s depending on their condition. Another fascinating anomaly involves transitional errors. These are coins that were struck using the wrong planchet, either because leftover blanks from a previous year were used or because of an error in the minting process. One of the most sensational examples in Lincoln cent lore is the discovery of 1983 pennies struck on copper planchets, even though all cents from that year were supposed to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets. These transitional error coins are exceptionally rare and have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. One particularly well-known example of a 1983 copper cent error was authenticated by third-party grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These organizations verify, grade, and encapsulate rare coins, providing assurance to buyers and sellers. The discovery of a genuine 1983 copper cent ignited the imagination of collectors and further fueled interest in checking pocket change for valuable errors. While estimates vary, such coins have sold for amounts upwards of $10,000 to $20,000, depending on the grade and confirmation of the error. The idea that a 1983 penny could be worth $90 million, however, is more myth than reality. This figure likely originated from sensationalized news stories or social media exaggerations. As of now, number 1983 penny has ever sold for $90 million, nor is any known to exist that would command such a price. Even the most significant U.S. coins, such as the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar, have only sold in the $7 to $18 million range. While a $90 million penny would be astonishing and unprecedented, it's more likely that such a number reflects clickbait headlines than actual market value. Still, the allure of a valuable penny remains strong, and the true worth of a coin can only be determined through careful examination and grading. What makes a 1983 penny valuable today? The condition of the coin plays a huge role. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A mint state, MS 65 or higher grade is typically required for a coin to bring top dollar, especially for modern issues. Coins that are uncirculated and retain their original luster are most appealing to collectors. Grading is usually done by professional services and involves examining the coin's strike, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. Additionally, coins with mint marks can carry different values. In 1983, Lincoln cents were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark, though for proof coins only. Regular circulation strike 1983D and 1983 no mint mark pennies are very common, while the 1983 S proof cent is less common and was only issued in proof sets. These proof coins are made with specially polished dies and planchets to create sharp, mirror-like surfaces and frosted devices. Interestingly, some collectors and investors have hoarded high-grade 1983 pennies, particularly those with full red coloration, designated RD, which indicates that the coin has retained its original red copper color. These coins tend to be worth more than those that have toned to brown or red-brown. A 1983 Lincoln cent graded MS67 RD by PCGS or NGC can fetch hundreds or even over $1,000 in some cases, particularly for examples with great eye appeal and no distracting marks or spots. The buzz around $90 million 1983 pennies may be largely unsubstantiated, but it reflects the very real fascination people have with the idea of discovering a rare and valuable coin in their everyday change. Stories of rare finds do happen. People have found extremely rare doubled dies, off-metal strikes, and even coins struck on foreign planchets while sifting through change jars or inherited coin collections. And it's not just about money. The thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of research, and the excitement of potentially uncovering history in your hand are what drive collectors. Whether it's a 1983 doubled die reverse, a transitional error struck on a copper planchet, or an ultra-high-grade mint-state specimen, these coins offer a tangible connection to U.S. history, minting technology, and the hidden treasures that may still be hiding in circulation today. So next time you get change from a store, take a moment to check the pennies. Look for that 1983 date, examine the reverse for any signs of doubling, feel the weight if you suspect it might be struck on a different metal, and consider the color and condition. If you believe you've found something rare, consult a coin dealer or submit the coin for grading. You never know, you could be holding a piece of numismatic history worth far more than 1 cent. Have you ever wondered if a simple penny in your pocket might be worth more than its face value? Maybe a lot more? Imagine flipping through some loose change and discovering that one of those humble copper coins is actually worth thousands, or in some extreme cases, even millions of dollars. Sounds impossible, right? Well, in the world of coin collecting, known as numismatics, stories like these are not just fantasy, they happen more often than you might think. And today, we're going to dig into one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin history, the 2004 Lincoln penny. More specifically, the 2004 Lincoln, 1 cent, coins that have baffled collectors, made headlines, and in certain rare cases, reached astonishing price points in auctions and private sales, some even rumored to have approached the $90 million mark. So, what makes a 2004 Lincoln cent so special? At first glance, the 2004 penny may seem unremarkable. Featuring the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, this coin was minted as part of the regular U.S. 1 cent coin series. The reverse, until 2008, featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design used consistently since 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. It wasn't until 2009 that the reverse design changed to celebrate the bicentennial of his birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself. But tucked away in the massive numbers of 2004 pennies minted, billions, in fact, are a handful of unique and incredibly rare varieties that collectors are going wild for. To understand why, we need to start with the basics of mint marks and coin production. In 2004, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at multiple facilities, primarily Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck in Philadelphia are marked with a P, or no mint mark at all. Denver coins bear the D mint mark, and coins from San Francisco usually carry an S mint mark, especially for proof coins. The total mintage that year was enormous, over 5.6 billion coins from Philadelphia and nearly 3.5 billion from Denver. Proof coins, made for collectors and struck using special dies to produce sharp details and mirror-like finishes, were minted in much smaller numbers at San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. Amidst these billions of coins, a few were struck with rare errors or varieties. Some of these errors were accidental, due to issues during the minting process. Others are known as die varieties, where slight changes or flaws in the dies used to strike the coins create unique traits that differentiate them from standard issues. And in the numismatic world, rarity combined with a compelling story is what drives value sky high. Among the most sought-after varieties from 2004 is the wide AM reverse, a subtle but powerful variety where the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin are spaced wider than normal. Normally, after 1992, the U.S. Mint changed the spacing so that the A and M in America were almost touching. But occasionally, a proof die intended for a different minting purpose was mistakenly used on regular circulation strikes. This happened in a few years, including 1998, 1999, and 2000, but rumors and collector chatter suggest that some 2004 pennies also exhibit this anomaly. These are incredibly rare and command high prices. Even more intriguing is the story of the wrong planchet errors. A planchet is the blank piece of metal that is stamped to become a coin. Sometimes, a planchet intended for one denomination accidentally gets fed into a press for a different coin. For example, a few 2004 Lincoln cents have reportedly been struck on dime planchets, making them smaller, thinner, and showing signs of the design being misaligned or partially cut off. Errors like this are exceedingly rare and have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. Another high-value type is the double die error. In a double die coin, the image appears to be duplicated slightly, especially around the lettering, numbers, or Lincoln's profile. In 2004, a small number of coins have shown doubling around the date or the word Liberty. These errors can easily fetch hundreds or even thousands, depending on condition and severity of the doubling. Speaking of condition, collectors place tremendous value on the grade of a coin. The most widely used grading scale is the Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-70, meaning mint state perfect, has no flaws even under magnification. While most 2004 pennies were spent in circulation and show signs of wear, some examples, especially those from mint sets or discovered quickly after minting, can achieve grades of MS-65 or higher. A rare variety in high grade can easily soar in price. A coin that's a typical 2004 Lincoln cent might be worth 1 cent, or maybe a few cents more if it's uncirculated. But a 2004 Lincoln cent with a known error, in pristine condition, can bring in thousands at auction. Now, let's talk about the most controversial and headline-grabbing claim, the supposed $90 million dollar penny. Yes, you heard that right. Rumors have circulated for years in online forums, tabloid websites, and even coin collecting groups that a 2004 penny once sold for $90 million. Is it true? Is there really a 1-cent coin that could buy you a mansion, a private jet, and still leave you enough for a private island? The short answer is, not exactly. The $90 million figure appears to be a mix of internet folklore, misinterpreted sales listings, or just flat-out clickbait. Some websites list common coins with hyperinflated values to attract views, and this has led to misunderstandings among casual collectors. There is no verified auction record or credible private sale indicating that any 2004 Lincoln cent has sold for $90 million. That said, some coins have sold for significant sums. A 2004 penny with a rare error, in top-grade condition, could realistically be valued in the low thousands. And over time, The market has only grown for era coins and special varieties. The current coin market has seen an explosion of interest thanks to social media, YouTube videos, and online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and Stacks Bowers. Coins that were once overlooked are now being scrutinized by millions of collectors across the globe. A coin that might have sat unnoticed for years in a piggy bank is now the subject of intense bidding wars and serious investment. So, if you have a 2004 penny sitting around, what should you look for? First, examine the mint mark. Is it a D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia? Next, take a look at the letters on the reverse. Is the spacing between the A and M in America wider than usual? Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling, especially around the date and lettering. Also, weigh the coin. Standard weight is about 2.5 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, you might have an off-metal error. And always look at the edges. If there's anything unusual like partial reading or misaligned features, it could be a clue that the coin is something special. Even if you don't have $1 million penny, coin collecting can be an incredibly rewarding hobby. It teaches history, sharpens observation skills, and connects you with a global community of enthusiasts. And who knows, maybe the next great coin discovery is hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be found by someone like you. So before you spend that change, take a moment. Check your pockets, empty the couch cushions, raid the old piggy bank, and look carefully at those pennies. Because one of them, maybe just one, might be the key to a small fortune, or at least a fascinating story you'll never forget. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the 2004 Lincoln cent, the humble little coin that continues to surprise, intrigue, and sometimes even change lives. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, keep looking, keep learning, and always stay curious. Because in the world of numismatics, anything is possible, even turning a penny into a treasure.